Hello, and welcome to Technic Force Learning. Today's video is about 5 tips to create successful cold email marketing campaigns. Let's begin. Cold email marketing is one of the most undervalued marketing activities out there. Why? It's simple. Most people are doing it wrong, and thus conclude that it's not working. So here are 5 tips to help you create a successful cold email marketing campaigns. Tip number 1. Know your recipients. It goes back to putting yourself in the shoes of your customers and who would you rather buy from. For each specific companies or businesses, it is worth doing the deep dive and find the right contact information. Find the right person within the company to reach out to. In other words, always try to get to know your audiences before launching your cold email campaign. Sending an email out of the blue, regardless of how good your email actually is, isn't nearly as good as connecting with your prospect first and interacting with them on a human level. Introduce yourself and build a relationship. Tip number 2. Make sure that your subject line is at least neutral. This is for you to not throw somebody off. For a cold email to get read, you need a compelling subject line. What does that mean? Your subject line has to be descriptive but concise, while at the same time prompting the recipient to open the mail. The truth is, there isn't any one formula when it comes to writing a good and catchy subject line. Nonetheless, it seems that some of the things that work best are to A. Keep it short, B. Be descriptive about the purpose of your email, and C. Add the personal touch. And this brings us to our next tip. Tip number 3. Add personalization. One of the things that you can do is you can always use a compliment, something specific about their business or company. And what that'll do is to get them to open the email, which means you've already beat up most of the bad cold emails because you're not in spam, and your emails are actually getting opened. You also need to keep in mind that personalization differs based on the type of cold email you're sending. For example, on a content promotion email, personalization can mean saying something nice about a blog post that your prospect has published. And for a media outreach email, personalization could mean mentioning a podcast or a show that your prospect has been featured on. For a network email, personalization could mean mentioning a common friend or contact with the person you're trying to reach. And for sales email, let's say, personalization could mean mentioning something that your prospect has achieved professionally. Thus, as is evident, personalization can take different forms even for the same type of cold email. You just have to really put the time and much effort on it. Tip number 4. Be confident. Bring people good stuff. And you should be confident with what you are bringing to them, but not in a rude way. Deliver the message in a way that you know you are bringing them something worthwhile and that you deserve to be working with them. They will appreciate this and elevates you or whatever you are pitching to them. Now last but not the least, tip number 5. Always do a follow-up. Don't assume that someone isn't interested if they don't reply to your first email. You don't need to wipe them from your contact list yet. Getting the cold shoulder on the first message is not an exception. It's the norm. In fact, one study found that while 18% of recipients responded to the first email they were sent, 27% replied to the sixth email. Of course, there's a knock at sending effective follow-up emails. But remember, don't spam. Leave a bigger gap between each email you send. It's fine to send your first follow-up 2 or 3 days after your initial email, but you should probably be waiting a few weeks between sending emails 5 and 6. So there you have it. All in all, try to use these tips and make adjustments based on the type of outreach campaign you want to launch. Always remember that the goal is for them to not only read your email, but also respond to it. And that is it for today's video on 5 things to help you create a successful cold email marketing campaign. I hope you find this video helpful, and for more tutorials and videos, visit us on Technic Force. As always, thanks for watching and see you on the next one.